We're gonna dive in, but let's clear the air first because there's a lot of misconceptions and misbeliefs that a lot of agents have about new construction or luxury new construction. You can attract new construction buyers regardless of whether you are a brand new agent, fresh out of getting your license, or if you're a veteran agent. You can build a new construction buyer pipeline without bugging your family, friends, or your current sphere. And you can attract working class new home buyers and or luxury new home buyers with the same amount of effort and zero experience. And you do not need huge amounts of money to begin advertising and start attracting new construction or luxury new construction buyers. As a matter of fact, we start off, a lot of folks start off with $5 a day times 2 campaigns. All right, well, I am Damon Greene, founder of the Iconic Agent, and this is
Nathaniel Crawford, Black Luxury Realty broker here in sunny South Florida.
All right, and today, I guess we'll just go ahead and dive straight in. Let's bring up our deck here. Okay, so today we're going to review with you guys the new construction buyer attraction blueprint. Again, I'm Damon Greene.
And I am Nathaniel Crawford.
And before we get started, just a heads up, we do have, because the question comes up a lot when we do these podcasts, we do have some trainings. They're not for everyone and they are expensive. However, I believe Jake put in the Facebook group, we do have a couple bonuses at the end of this presentation, but we also do have a free 2-hour masterclass that goes over what we're going to cover on the surface here in depth. So make sure that you, if you're interested in more, we'll have more information for you about that at the end. And also a quick shout out. There was a gentleman that was on the podcast not too long ago, Andre Polstrom, was actually in St. Pete, and I just want to give him a shout out because he said something that was really impactful. And we actually have some new construction, high-rise new construction that I've got clients working in the St. Pete area. Some beautiful area. That's actually me and my lady's favorite spot. Nonetheless, when you're marketing, I'm sure everybody's here is interested in marketing and they have marketed before. One thing that he said was, and I totally agree with, never turn off your marketing. Give the marketing time to work. And that stands true with this process as well. So I just wanted to caveat that. So diving straight in. So we're going to get to the goodies. Make sure you got notes, take down some notes, because some of this stuff, it's basic, but it's super impactful. Over $175 million in additional new construction and luxury new construction sales has been generated in the last 2 years during COVID with this process. So make sure that you're taking notes. So 3-step process to the new construction buyer attraction blueprint. Number 1, find the projects or communities in the price points you desire and that would attract your ideal client. 2, you determine how popular those communities are and partner with the on-site sales rep. So you want to find out the buyer demand for each of those communities. We'll go into this in depth. I'm just going to give you an overview. And then step 3, get in front of buyers looking for the community through targeted buyer attraction methods and follow-up. So we're going to dive in, but let's clear the air first because there's a lot of misconceptions and misbeliefs that a lot of agents have about new construction or luxury new construction. You can attract new construction buyers regardless of whether you are a brand new agent, fresh out of getting your license, or if you're a veteran agent. You can build a new construction buyer pipeline without bugging your family, friends, or your current sphere. And you can attract working class new home buyers and or luxury new home buyers with the same amount of effort and zero experience. And you do not need huge amounts of money to begin advertising and start attracting new construction or luxury new construction buyers. As a matter of fact, we start off, a lot of folks start off with $5 a day times 2 campaigns. And I'll break that down. We do, if you're in an area where there's a transient area like the South, Southeast, Southwest, local campaign, national campaign. That's how you get the out-of-state buyers. We'll gloss over that a little bit. And this one here is a big one. You do not have to work for the builder to sell new construction. You're literally a buyer's agent for new construction. All right, so one thing you may also be thinking is, interest rates have soared, prices are going up, the market is correcting. Who's buying new construction and luxury new construction? Like, it's just getting harder out here in these new construction streets or these real estate streets. Nate, what's your response to that?
Well, the short answer is many of the same people who were buying before. So the beauty of putting together targeted marketing is that you are getting in front of where people are looking. So whether the market is super hot, whether the market is a little slower, whether the market's in transition, there's always buyers in the market. The money doesn't stop getting spent. The only thing that changes is who is spending the money. And as a good marketer in the real estate space, is your job to make sure you're able to get in front of those people by knowing where they're looking. And that's a big part of what this training is here today, is to tell you how to get in front of them with the right message at the right frequency to help them make the decisions they need to take action on buying new and pre-construction real estate.
All right, so what are the advantages of selling new construction? Here are just a few. One, it's one of the easiest transactions ever. If you've ever sold new construction, you know the difference between the new construction versus a traditional resale and all the paperwork and everything else. It's typically less competition. Many agents don't understand how new construction sales works. And in some markets, such as Texas and South Florida, you have higher commissions. I know, Nate, what's the highest commissions you've been seeing lately out there in the South Florida area?
Downtown Miami, we've seen as high as 10% right now.
Wow. Okay. And Orlando, if you're looking at there's new construction vacation, which they allow Airbnb. We're not going to get into all that, but I've seen 10%. DR Horton a lot of times has a tiered program, so they have between 5 to 10% in Orlando. Here in Tampa, we've seen 4% bonuses. In Texas, we've seen 4% bonuses. So depending on the region and the market, there's definitely higher commissions. So more money, less headache. So diving in really quickly, because I know this is why you guys are here. So here's some easy ways to find popular new construction and luxury new construction. Now, I just want to warn you, this is not, there's going to be a lot of duh and aha moments here. Don't take the simplicity as, oh, that's just this thing. This is actually the process. So make sure that you pay close attention. So, Nate, you want to dive into this?
Yeah. So one of the things that you'll find with a lot of developers when they do marketing and they billboards and all this type of other stuff, a lot of developers focus on branding more than they do engagement. And what I mean by that is they focus on the name of the community and the lifestyle that community frames. So, pretty pictures of people having fun, playing golf, all those types of things, and not necessarily how to get in touch. So phone number, website, that type of thing. One of the places you'll see this most apparently is in billboards, as you can see here. So the lifestyle and the name of the community is very, very prominent. But if you're driving by at 55, 65, 75 miles an hour, you're probably going to remember the name of that community, but you probably will not remember the website. Or even more so, you may just remember the area that the community was in, even if you don't remember the name of the community. So being mindful as you're riding around, you probably ride past things like this all the time. You see development billboards, you see development, advertising in places, and you're not even aware that you're seeing it because you're so used to seeing it. It's just sort of background noise. But billboards are sort of the first stop on that journey of seeing really, really focused branding billboards that don't emphasize as much as they could the engagement piece, which is part of what creates an opportunity for us.
Yes, because think about when people drive by these, the first thing they're going to do is look it up.
Here you go again, same thing. So you have developers that put together really, really pretty lifestyle wraps that focus on the name of the development, not necessarily the contact information for the development. So this is telling you what it is, even telling you where it is, but it's not telling you how you get more information about it. And that means they're going to go to their go-to resource to find more information about that project.
Yeah, and you definitely want to look for signage like this specifically. You see, this is downtown Chicago, this is downtown St. Pete. I'm not sure what the one on the left is. I don't remember where that is. But in the money areas of town, in the popular areas, just imagine how many people drive by this every single day. There's opportunity. Plus, it's a chance for you to see, oh, so drive around now and look, take pictures, write it down.
Yep. Another place you're going to see that is obviously print. So many of us have like Publix, places like that where you'll see these magazine buyer's guides on your way out, new and pre-construction real estate. One of the other things, a byproduct of this, and your brokerage, depending on the brokerage you're with, will have maybe a new construction development division or new construction division. And very often they'll put out quarterly brochures or monthly brochures about development listings that your brokerage has. As you learn more about these projects in your area, especially when they're in areas that you're already focusing on, this is an opportunity to sort of paint yourself as an expert. Once you know these projects, whether they're projects you're focusing on for your specific marketing efforts or not, these are projects that make 10, 15, 20%, 100%, in some cases more than other agents in the market. So you're becoming that expert because you're becoming a resource, a knowledgeable resource about new and pre-construction development in your community. And print is one of those ways to do it. It's old school, but it still exists. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's still a lot of impactful print advertising being done by developers.
Yeah, and to add on top of that, there's also a lot on TV. If you watch cable news or cable television, or even now, the Hulus, the Netflix, when there's commercials, there are builders and communities that are buying space there, which means they're getting in front of a lot of people. Pay attention to those.
Yes. One of the other ones, and this is a really good one that sort of feeds into another one we'll touch on in a minute, is developer presentations. So as you're learning more about different developments in your community, one of the first steps in learning more about a community is to stop by and get a presentation from the on-site agents. Those on-site agents, in almost every case, while they're giving you the presentation about the particular development that they work in, one of the things they're going to do is to compare their development to other developments in the community, to other developments in the area. Depending on where you're at, they might even compare it to other developments in the entire region. What that does is they may mention developments that you didn't already know about. So if you go in and you know about development A, where you're getting about the presentation, but development A tells you about development B, C, and D, now you know about 3 other developments, because one of those developments may be something that's coming soon, and maybe something that's on the horizon that people don't necessarily know about. So one of the things that you want to be mindful of as you're going to these developers is to recognize that you're not just getting information specific to their property, but you're getting information that's giving you intelligence on other properties in the area as well. So, and as I was alluding to, you get stuff like this. So all of these screenshots have come from my email because of relationships I had with on-site agents. When they moved to new developments, they sent me information about the project they were moving to. And because of that, in many cases, I'm able to get more market intelligence to learn about developments before they happen, because I had relationships with someone that was already on site, because I got that presentation and they spoke about another property. So this one sold out and then they went somewhere else. So building relationships is something you're gonna hear me touch on a lot while we're talking, but this is the type of stuff that those relationships get you.
Absolutely. And there's also online tools. Everybody wants to know, well, can I just do this online? And we're going to talk on that in a minute. No, you can't just do it online, and Nate will cover that. That's his thing there. But you can Google terms like new construction in town, luxury new construction in town, luxury condos in town, single family new construction in town. See what pops up. Usually you're going to see New Home Source pop up. That's a good resource. to find things that aren't in the MLS. The MLS is, depending on what region you're on, it's not the most reliable for new construction because it's not built yet, so they haven't listed it. But you can find a few things there. Zillow and Realtor, you can look in. High rises is good if you're in an area, metropolitan area where there are high rises, like major cities. Highrises.com, you can segment out by new construction. And Builders Update has national builders, what they're building in certain cities, towns, et cetera. That's a really good resource. So once you've done your research, then there's relationships and documenting. It's super important to take your time finding as many projects and communities as you can up front, because the market knowledge is extremely valuable and it puts you ahead of most average agents, because you're going to know more about the local new construction opportunities than your competitors, so you can give your clients more options. So once you've done research and you see what's out there, you want to find 5 to 10 communities, projects. Nate, you want to cover this next bullet here? The next couple bullets.
Yes, after you find those 5 to 10 communities, you want to go and speak with those sales reps. You want to go in person. In today's technology-driven world, it's very, very, very tempting to just say, oh, well, I'll just give them a call. Oh, I'll request more information on the website. The foundation of almost all real estate success, I'm going to say that again, all real estate success is meaningful relationships. You want to make sure that you have meaningful relationships, and those meaningful relationships, having those meaningful relationships with people on site is super important. And the best way to build the foundation for a meaningful relationship is to do that in person. So you want to go and talk to that rep in person. A lot of times when people go to visit reps on site, especially newer agents, they're not sure, well, what do I say? I don't know what do I do? And in many cases, people will tell you, oh, well, just tell them you have a client that's interested and you want information. I don't necessarily recommend that, because that's a lie. And if you get a good on-site salesperson and you tell them you have a client, they're going to do what a good on-site salesperson would do and ask you more questions about that client. And now, if you don't have a client, you have to make up a client because you just told this person that you have a client. So the more ideal thing to do is to just be transparent. When I go, most of the time when I'm walking into a new development, I don't have a client for that particular development right then. And the reason I don't is because I don't know enough about the development. So you go and you say, hey, well, I'd like to learn more about the development. When they say, well, do you have a client for it right now? Well, not at the moment, but I want to make sure that when I do have clients, I know that what type of client this property would be a good fit for. Is it a good fit for couples? Is it a good fit for, millennials? Is it a good fit for multi-generational households? What are the highlighting features? What are you selling here? So understanding that from a marketing standpoint and people existing in your database is one thing. There are a couple of things that you want to make sure that you cover when you're there. You want to make sure you get the total number of residents. So if it's a condo, total number of units that are being built. If it's a master plan community, you want to know the total number of homes that they're planning to build there, not just standing inventory. You want to find out the total build out. So if they're building 2,000 homes, that's what you want to know about. You don't want to know about just the 20 homes that they have in standing inventory. Any incentives available. You want to make sure that incentives for you as an agent, what if there are bonuses or anything like that, as well as incentives for your buyers. If there are incentives for the closing agent or flooring or quick closings, anything like that. What features are they highlighting? And the reason the features that they're highlighting, and a lot of these things are things that you'll get just from getting the presentation, because a good on-site salesperson is going to cover these. What are they highlighting about the property? What makes their property unique from the half a dozen other properties in the area? And why that's important is because that way you can make sure that you're highlighting the same thing, so that your marketing, your conversations with your clients, with the leads that you're generating, with the people you're talking to, is congruent. It's consistent. It's matching what they're going to hear, the messaging that they're going to hear when they get on site and they speak with that sales agent. So you're really making sure that not only do you have a meaningful partnership with that on-site agent, and just by saying it, but you want to make sure that your actions sort of flow into that. They're going to co-sign what you said and vice versa when dealing with clients and highlighting the property. One of the easy ways that I found to sort of keep up with this is notebooks. So I still use, I'll take a tablet and put everything in the Dropbox. Damon is a little more old school to me. He got a bunch of notebooks. I still have some notebooks, but Damon uses notebooks a lot. So putting all these projects in a notebook, sometimes you can put them in a notebook and you tab each one off. So you may have one notebook for a whole city or a particular side of town or something like that. If you're here in Miami, you maybe have one portfolio just for all the projects that are downtown. Then maybe you have another one for Miami Beach. Then you can highlight the different features of those projects and what makes them unique and what makes them more impactful. So that gives you a really, really quick reference guide when you meet someone and they're looking in a particular area and they have I'm looking for a multi-generational home and it needs to be in Broward County, but it needs to be within, 10 minutes from the beach. You can open your portfolio and have things to show them.
Absolutely. So once you have your 5 to 10 communities that you want to start with, the next thing we need to do is find the popularity of each of those communities or projects, because nobody wants to waste time or money guessing like which one to work with. So determining buyer demand or buyer popularity. Now is the time to see how popular each community is. We make our decisions based on data and relationships. So let me ask you guys a quick question. Let's sit back and think. Take your real estate hat off. When you're looking for information or researching, where do you go? Just think through that. You need to know anything. Where do you go? Google. I'm sure 100% of y'all say Google. So what you want to do is meet buyers when they're actually looking for and researching the community. And as this NAR stat shows, nearly all buyers used online tools in the search process, 96% of the buyers surveyed. So that's where you want to go because you want to see how popular all those communities are. So buyers that want quick results and quick information, go to Google for answers. You can use tools to go straight to the source, Google, to see which community is the most active and most popular. And here's how to do this. Pull up the communities you document. Make sure you have the 3 critical pieces of information: full build out, commissions being paid, price points. Then you can use these tools. I'll leave this here for a second so you can snapshot them. But keywordtool.io, Ubersuggest, the Google Keyword Planner, and that should be Keyword Finder. Yeah, keywordfinder.io. These are really good tools to go to get an idea of how popular communities are. Now there's some nuances with that, but just general, if you go play with these tools, you'll start to see, like put the name of the community you live in there, whether it's new construction or not. That'll kind of give you the idea of the power that this process has. And once we have the demand, you figure out there's say 1,000 searches for one and 500 searches for another. What we're looking for are the highest levels of demand and the best relationships with on-site sales staff, AKA your partners, as well as the most amount of inventory. So this is just a guesstimate. The numbers you're going to get from these tools are just a guesstimate. The only real way to tell true demand is to put money behind it. And we're going to walk through that in a minute. So what you want to do, now that you know the demand, you have an idea of the demand for the projects, you have the price point, inventory, et cetera. You want to build out a spreadsheet with your numbers so that you can see which one of these makes more sense. Take the price point, inventory, the commissions they're paying, the buyer demand, figure out how much the commission is per, set a goal, and you do the math and see which projects make the most sense for you to focus on, with relationships being your biggest deciding factor. So once you figure out you've got these 5, 10, 20 communities, you go through this process. You want to pick one project. I know you're like, no, one, I just did research on 20. One project, trust the process. The ideal scenario is has the most full build out inventory and the most buyer demand. That's usually the winner. However, Nate,
relationships matter more than the data. What you don't want to do is to find a project that you like. It's super sexy. It's going to pay huge commissions and 10% commission at starting price is $3 million and it's great, but the on-site people are horrible, which is going to make it really, really hard for you to get deals done there. It's much, much better. It's much more advantageous to you. It makes way more sense, and it will, in the long run, perform way better if you took an average price point community that had good demand and you had great relationships. Relationships are the key to this. Relationships. The on-site sales team are not your adversaries. They're not your enemies. They are your partners. They're there to help you get deals done. They want to get deals done just as much as you do. So you should make sure that you are building relationships with them, and they're part of your strategy to get deals done in a meaningful way, not just in a transactional way.
Exactly. So next, buyer attraction. This is the fun stuff. Now that we've picked one community we're going to start with, down the line, 3-6 months down the line, you can layer another one on because we want to go deep. We're not going wide. We're looking for quality. 67% of buyers interviewed only one real estate agent during their home search. This is another NAR stat. So let's sit on it for a minute. 67% of buyers interviewed one real estate agent during their home search. Just imagine if that agent they found was you. So now that we've narrowed down and focused on one project, community, or building, we put together simple Google ads and get them in front of new construction buyers looking for that community. That's it. It's that simple. So the buyer attraction process, we're going to target buyers that are looking for this community that we've identified as a winner. We're going to target in-state and out-of-state. You want to make sure you communicate immediately with all the prospects when they come in. Automation helps with this, but it does not replace human interaction. And I know there's some really good, the LabCoat team has some really good follow-up podcasts and interviews they've done. So definitely go watch those. And you want to follow up prospects and build your pipeline until you close deals. So the 4 steps to the buyer attraction: write compelling ads, send prospects to a micro commitment landing page, automate, semi-automate outreach and follow-up so you can handle multiple leads at once and you're not driving yourself crazy, work your magic and close deals. So step 1, create Google ads and run them. Write compelling community ads based on the information that you know your ideal client is looking for and what you know about the community. Write 5 to 10 headlines. There need to be 30 characters each for your ads. Write 2 to 4 descriptions about the community. Run your ad. What we're going to do is we're training Google's AI to include qualified terms and exclude non-qualified terms, which equals targeted prospects all day, anywhere in the country. Step 2, set up a micro commitment landing page to capture leads. Not your website you paid a bunch of money for. Not an IDX page you paid a bunch of money for. A simple landing page. So here's the automation blueprint for follow-up. You guys might want to take a snapshot of this. So the lead comes in, they see your ad. Oh, I'm looking for more information on this project. They submit their name, email, phone number. They go to, on the landing page, they land on a property details page. The property details page has just enough information to wet the whistle. Information about the project, some pictures, ideally a video walkthrough or video tour of some sort, even if it's just a slideshow. Contact information there at least twice and a call to action. Call to schedule your private VIP tour today. We're not giving them all the information because the whole point of this entire process is to have conversations. People that have conversations close deals. So as soon as that lead submits their information, they immediately should get a email from you. They should get a text message from you and a voicemail. You, as the agent, should get a voicemail. You'll get a voicemail and a text message saying, hey, you got a new lead. It drops it in your CRM. And from there, you work your magic. Now, step 4 are the 5 success factors, and none of these can be ignored. Nate, I'll let you handle this one.
Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Just follow up. Relationships are key here. So you want to make sure that you're following up. And in that follow-up, you want that follow-up to be very, very meaningful, intentional, and strategic. So we got a quick mind map here to walk you through different types of follow-up. So I'm gonna start on the left and then we'll work our way to the right. So as someone comes into your funnel, your first 30 days of follow-up are property focused. So whatever development they came into the funnel asking about or wanting more information about, those first 30 days, you're just giving them what they asked for. You're telling them about floor plans and the neighborhood and finishes and features and the developer and all the wonderful things, amenities about the community, about the development. After that 30-day sequence, the remainder you want to add on, so the next 12 months, so the remainder of the 12-month period there, you want to follow up with a sequence that is about you and your value proposition, who you are, what you do, why you do what you do. You're building a rapport. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So explain why you got into real estate, explain what you do for fun, how you hang out with your kids, all those things. You want a 12-month follow-up sequence there that explains to people your value on how you present. All right. Then after that, or in the midst of that, actually, once you're following up with these people, you have developer closeouts, special opportunities. Because of the relationships that you've built with people on site, what you'll have agents that are reaching out to you from on site. You'll get emails from on-site agents, phone calls, text messages from on site. Hey, we just had a contract fall out. Do you have anyone that may be interested in this property? Hey, we might have some other ones coming up. Hey, we have another set of floor plans that are getting released. So those special opportunities are always reasons for you to follow up with anyone that's in your pipeline and has expressed interest in a specific community. And then, of course, you have resales. So especially in single family home communities, if you're in one of the larger master plan communities, you sort of have, and we touch on this this weekend, but you have, long-term money, short-term money, long-term money, medium-term money, short-term money. And that short-term money is resales. Those are deals that you can get done in the next 30 to 45 days. So someone may have come into your pipeline looking at a pre-construction home that won't be ready for 2 years. Maybe their timeline changes and you got a resale up for them because someone is moving unexpectedly and they're on your list. So there are opportunities there for you to be able to leverage as you're following up with people, okay? And here on the right side, we have, this is more for your on-site relationships. On-site relationships. Rule number one, relationships matter in person. In person, whether it's stopping by with cupcakes and cards. I call it cupcakes and cards. So you take some cupcakes and business cards, some donuts. You want to stop by, you want to build a rapport with on-site agents to let them know that you care about getting deals done with them, but you're building rapport with them. You're building relationship with them as people, not just as tools or instruments that help you get a sale done. They're not your secretary. They're not your admin. They're your partner in helping to get real estate transactions done. When you stop by again, when you follow up, usually I recommend that you want to stop by every on-site community that you're working with or that's in your market every 3 weeks or so, just to say hello and to get updated pricing and inventory so that you're knowledgeable about what's happening in your market. Because as someone who lives there, that you never know when you may need to have one of those conversations. You could be standing in line at Starbucks, picking kids up from school, all types of just random places where you meet somebody and you're having a real estate conversation and you want to be able to speak intelligently, not only about what's going on in the market, but what's available in the market. I have sold millions of dollars in real estate to people I met walking in the mall. So it's a real thing, and you want to be prepared for that thing to happen to you. Okay. Then another way to make sure you're building relationship and just sort of staying up abreast of what's going on the development side is attending events. Once you're on those on-site agents' radar, once you're on their email list, because you're a client as a real estate agent, you're just as much a client to an on-site agent as a buyer is. Upwards of 80% of on-site development sales are done through us, through independent agents, because we bring the buyers to the sales centers. So with that knowledge, you want to make sure that you're building those relationships. And what's another way to build those relationships? Attending on-site events. So happy hours, groundbreakings, launching a new floor plans, open of scale, open of decorated models. All of these things are opportunities for you to be on site and build a relationship. Okay. And then beyond that, you'll see there, I have some post-closing tips as well. One of the tools we use for post-closing stuff is a service called Client Giant. They send out quarterly gifts, which are great for top of mind. I use them for vendors, for on-site agents, for clients, of course. They're a really, really powerful tool to send people really cool stuff. Again, on birthdays, stuff like that. And then something else I know that I've heard on LabCoat many times is quarterly CMAs. Quarterly video CMAs are super, super powerful. And they can be a very cool way to stay top of mind and get unexpected listings.
All right, so that is the new construction buyer traction overview blueprint. And of course, we can't help but not to over deliver. So if you have, and this is a super duper powerful process. We just did this yesterday with on an old pipeline. And I'll tell you the results so far from sending this out. But if you have a pipeline, do this. We call this the 3-play. Follow up with the pipeline through email. Send it a specific email. Send them the email. And what we did was we mentioned a price reduction for 2 models down in Fort Myers. There's 2 floor plans in Fort Myers. Price reduction was between $19,000 and $43,000. So we sent an email out. After we sent the email, we then sent a text message to all those folks that said, hey, we just sent you an email about this. Did you get it? Then we sent out a voicemail with an explanation that we sent an email and the text message. We wanted to make sure you got it. And this is what it was about. So now those leads see what the heck, this must be super important. The client we did this for, we sent out to about 430 leads that hadn't purchased yet. And he's got a gentleman from Canada that's going to spend about $400,000 in cash and rent it out half the season and come down half the season. And then he's got 2 others that are looking to probably get a listing and then sell and buy at this other community, which is a similar community. It just has better amenities. All from this triple play. Anytime we send this triple play or anybody does this triple play, it blows your phone up. Like when you do this, just make sure that you have somebody that can field these calls because you get massive impact. And number 2, because I know I get the LabCoat emails as well. And I know Tristan is an avid reader. So I don't know if he's ever recommended this book, but this is a game-changing book if you've never read it, called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eckert. I highly recommend reading this among many other books too. But this one, if you've got any money blocks or anything along those lines, this is an amazing book. And the folks that we've referred this to were like, wow, that was a ridiculous read. Lastly, as we mentioned, we have monthly free 2-hour new construction buyer traction intensive masterclasses. And then we have VIP training, which is bonus training and question and answer, all complimentary, all free. If you go to theiconicagent.com, you can register for those. The next one we have is this Sunday, the 13th at 3 o'clock. So from 3 to about 5, we'll be go in depth into what we just taught you here. We only had 30 minutes. We've been on about 35 minutes. We're going to go in depth into each one of those phases, give you tools and resources, and then Q&A training afterwards. Plus there's some bonus training we didn't have a chance to get on today because we're just trying to, respect everybody's time. So that is the presentation for today. Jake, do we do Q&A or?
Yeah, you're free to do Q&A. Yeah, you guys got time.
Okay. So cool. So if you guys have any questions, let us have them. And I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know if you want to copy and paste them on here or how that works.
Yeah, I'm watching Facebook too.
We just had one question from Facebook. Will the Sunday class be recorded? I won't be available during that time to watch, from Anna Reese.
Yes, make sure that you register and you'll get the recordings.
Gotcha.
That'll be live stream, so it'll be as soon as we're done, it's going to be, in the group. So, but absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, I got a question for you guys. Was this valuable? Did this open your eyes to kind of things that have been right under your nose all this time?
There we go.
Awesome. You are welcome. It did. Awesome. Okay, good. That's the goal. So take action on what we, yes, perfect. Take action on this. This is, this is life-changing information if you implement it.
Absolutely.
All right. You see anything in Facebook?
Nope. I don't see anything else.
I don't see anything yet or anything else.
All right. Taryn, yes. Just if you go to the site, you can get info. Thank you. You're welcome. You're all welcome. My favorite keyword tool. Google. The Google Keyword Planner. The reason I didn't go deep into the Google Keyword Planner is if you've never run Google Ads, it's not going to help you. You had to have spent money and then they'll give you some numbers. But outside of that, Uber Suggest is decent. I like keywordtool.io, but those are the main ones. So awesome. I see a couple more coming through. All right. Well, I'll be respectful of everyone's time here. So if we don't have any more questions, I guess we can wrap it up. Hope to see you guys on Sunday. And we can go in depth. Like we have some really, really in-depth stuff here. Jake, is there anything else you had for us? Any questions you had?
No, that's
Any
it. This has been great.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate the opportunity and we hope to do this again and see you guys soon.